Hamilton called out a couple of things in relation to the rumours surrounding Ferrari. Felipe Colapinto talked about his situation at the Alpine F1 team, and Lance Stroll responded to the rumours about his frustration after qualifying in Barcelona. Here is part 1 of a summary of the interesting things that were said at the Canadian F1 drivers' press conference. Starting with Stroll, his wrist feels good and he's pretty confident this won't be a reoccurrence. Although later on, he was asked whether his wrist being in his pocket for the majority of the press conference was related to his injuries, and he said it was a little bit of the reason, but it's all good. Also, during the previous race weekends, he had been pushing through the pain, but it was at Barcelona when he realised it was just getting a bit too much. And lastly for him, he admitted that he was frustrated after qualifying in Barcelona, and that was because of his wrist, and nothing was said about the other allegations. Moving on to Colapinto, he said that the races haven't gone as he was expecting them to, but according to him, that situation hadn't been helped by the fact he'd been out of an F1 car for 6 races. Also, it was a triple header, and apparently the Williams car is very different to the Alpine car. However, he is really happy they've had this break because he feels like he has gotten to know the car a bit better. For example, there were some setup things that just weren't working for him, so they've made some changes, and he's been doing things like working with the team and going on the sims, so he feels like he has made a lot of progress. Lastly is Hamilton. He said that he was invited to number 10 by the Prime Minister, and one of the biggest reasons for this is because himself and Mission 44 and some others are working to shift some policies within schools, and this is to increase attendance and decrease exclusions. And he went on to say that he got expelled himself. Looking back at Barcelona, he said that the team doesn't really want the drivers to talk about what happened, but both drivers had issues about halfway through, and it was relieving for him to know that there was an actual issue with the car. It wasn't that he was just not getting it. Regarding the Fred rumours, he said that he was made aware of them that day, and it isn't nice to hear. Essentially, he was very pro-Fred. In fact, according to him, Fred is the main reason why he's in the team, and he believes that Fred is the best person to take the team to the top. Ultimately, what's being written is nonsense, and most people have no idea what's actually going on. Similarly, he had a message to all the people who are saying that he's considering no longer racing, and that's that he just got started in the Ferrari F1 team. He plans to be there for several years. He's in it for the long haul. And he requested that people stop making things up. But he did admit that the team set up things pretty differently to what he's used to, so he's taking time to work with them constructively to highlight areas where it's gone well for him in the past. Speaking about the F1 movie premiere, he said it was actually quite nerve-wracking because it had been a lot of work for 4 years, and he wanted all of the drivers to enjoy it. And overall, he thinks the movie really captured a good mix between authentic and Hollywood.